Let me tell you about a guy named Mark. Mark bought his dream house 8 years ago for $280,000. Great neighborhood, good schools, low crime. He did everything right. He got a fixed rate mortgage, so his principal and interest payment has literally not changed in 8 years. Same number every single month. But here's the thing Mark didn't think about. His monthly housing payment went up anyway. Not by a little, by over $400 a month. And it wasn't his mortgage rate. It wasn't insurance. It was property taxes, quietly climbing every single year while nobody was paying attention. By the time Mark actually sat down and did the math, he realized he had paid almost $34,000 in property taxes over those 8 years. And the number kept growing faster than his salary did. That's not a rounding error. That's a car. That's a chunk of a kid's college fund. That's a number that can genuinely change your retirement timeline. And the wild part is, most homeowners have no idea this is happening to them until they see it in black and white. So today, I want to break down exactly how property taxes work, why they quietly cost people so much more than they expect, and what you can actually do about it. Why this matters right now. Here's why this topic matters more today than it did 10 years ago. Home values across the country have gone up a lot over the last several years. And in most places, property taxes are based on your home's assessed value. So when home values go up in a lot of counties, your tax bill goes up right along with it, whether your income went up or not. Think about that for a second. Your salary doesn't automatically increase because your neighborhood got trendy, but your property tax bill can. That's the disconnect that catches people off guard. Most people obsess over their mortgage rate. They'll spend weeks shopping around for the lowest interest rate, comparing lenders, negotiating points. And that's smart, don't get me wrong, but very few people spend even 10 minutes understanding how their property tax bill is calculated or how much it's likely to grow over the years they own that home. It's the quiet expense. It doesn't show up in the exciting part of buying a house. It shows up 2, 3, 5 years later as a surprise increase in your monthly payment. So let's break this down simply, because a lot of people think property tax is just some flat percentage the government charges. It's actually a bit more layered than that. Your property tax bill generally comes from two things multiplied together. First, your home's assessed value. That's the value your local government or county assessor puts on your property. And it's not always the same as what you'd sell it for on the open market. Second, the tax rate, sometimes called the mill rate, which is set by your local government, your school district, and sometimes other local agencies like fire districts or water districts. So the formula roughly looks like this. Assessed value times tax rate equals your property tax bill. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Assessed value isn't fixed forever. Most counties reassess homes periodically, sometimes every year, sometimes every few years, depending on where you live. When home prices in your area go up, your assessed value often follows, even if you never lifted a finger to improve the house. Let's use a simple analogy. Think of your property tax like a subscription service that's tied to how popular the neighborhood becomes. You didn't ask for the price increase. You didn't get extra features. The neighborhood just got more desirable, home values rose, and your bill rose with it. And this is the part that surprises people the most. Even if you have a fixed rate mortgage, your total monthly housing payment is not actually fixed because property taxes and insurance usually get bundled into what's called an escrow account. And that account gets recalculated every year based on your current tax and insurance costs. So your fixed payment can absolutely go up, and it usually does, slowly, year after year. The numbers behind it. Let's look at some real numbers, so this isn't just theory. Across the US, the average effective property tax rate is a little over 1% of a home's value per year. But that number swings widely depending on where you live. In some states, it's closer to 0.5%. In others, it's north of 2%. That difference alone can mean a gap of thousands of dollars a year on the exact same home value just because of location. Now let's talk growth. Nationally, home values have appreciated significantly over the past decade, and in a lot of metro areas, that appreciation has been dramatic. When assessed values follow that trend, property tax bills have, in many counties, grown faster than inflation and faster than wage growth. That's the core problem. Your tax bill can compound like an investment, except it's working against your budget, not for it. Let's go back to Mark's numbers. His home was assessed at $280,000 when he bought it. Over 8 years, with reassessments and a rising local tax rate, his home's assessed value climbed to around $410,000. Even at a modest tax rate of about 1.3%, that jump alone added roughly $1,700 a year to his bill compared to when he started. Multiply that increase out over several years, and you get exactly the kind of number that sneaks up on people. So what do you actually do with this information? Here's a practical framework you can use, whether you already own a home or you're planning to buy one. Step 1. Before you buy, don't just look at the current property tax bill. Look at the history. Most county assessor websites let you search a property and see how the assessed value and tax bill have changed over the past 5 to 10 years. If a home's taxes doubled in the last decade, there's a good chance that trend continues, and you need to budget for that, not just today's number. Step 2. Build a rising property tax line into your long-term budget, not a flat one. A lot of people budget for housing costs as if the number today is the number forever. Instead, assume your property tax will grow a few percent a year and plan your budget with some breathing room, so a reassessment doesn't blow a hole in your monthly finances. Step 3. Check if your area offers a homestead exemption or any exemption programs for primary residences, veterans, seniors, or long-term owners. These exemptions can meaningfully reduce your taxable value, and shockingly, a lot of eligible homeowners never apply for them simply because nobody told them it existed. Step 4. Review your assessment every year, not just when the bill shows up. If your assessed value seems higher than what similar homes nearby are selling for, you often have the right to file an appeal. Many homeowners successfully lower their assessed value simply by providing recent comparable sales in their area. It usually costs nothing to try, and it can save you real money for years, not just once. Step 5. If you're using an escrow account, actually read the annual escrow analysis your lender sends you. Don't just glance at the new payment number and move on. Understand whether the increase came from taxes, insurance, or both, so you know exactly what's driving your payment up. Now let's talk about the mistakes, because this is where people lose real money without realizing it. The first mistake is treating your initial mortgage quote as your permanent housing cost. People run the numbers once when they buy the home, feel comfortable with the payment, and then never revisit it. 5 years later, they're confused about why their payment feels so much higher, when the truth is, it happened gradually, one small increase at a time. The second mistake is ignoring the assessment notice. Most counties send you a notice before finalizing your new assessed value, and most people either don't open it or assume there's nothing they can do about it. In reality, that notice is often your only window to dispute the number before it becomes official for the year. The third mistake is comparing homes purely by list price without factoring in the tax rate of that specific area. 2 homes priced identically in 2 different towns can have wildly different long-term costs purely because of local tax rates. It's like buying 2 cars for the same price, but one of them quietly costs way more in maintenance every single year. The fourth mistake is emotional decision-making during a hot housing market. When people are excited about buying, they tend to focus on the mortgage payment and completely gloss over taxes. Because taxes feel boring compared to picking out a kitchen, but boring is exactly why it costs people so much. Nobody's paying attention to it. Let's put this all together with a hypothetical, because seeing it play out makes it click. Meet Sarah. She's comparing 2 houses. House A is listed at $350,000 in a town with a property tax rate of about 0.8%. House B is listed at the exact same price, $350,000, but in a town with a property tax rate of about 2%. On the surface, these look identical. Same price, same mortgage payment structure. But House A would cost her roughly $2,800 a year in property taxes. House B would cost her roughly $7,000 a year. That's a difference of about $4,200 every single year. Or over a 15-year stretch, more than $60,000 in extra taxes alone, not even counting the compounding effect of rising assessments. If Sarah only compares the sticker price and the mortgage rate, she might pick house B without a second thought. But once she factors in the tax difference, she realizes house A, even if it needed a little more work or was slightly smaller, might actually be the smarter, long-term financial decision. That's the power of actually doing this homework before you sign anything. The takeaway. Here's the core lesson I want you to walk away with. Your mortgage payment might be fixed, but your total housing cost almost never is. Property taxes are the quiet variable that most people ignore until it's already cost them thousands of dollars. The good news is, this isn't something you're powerless against. You can research it before you buy, you can appeal your assessment, you can check for exemptions, and you can build it into your budget with realistic expectations instead of getting blindsided every year. Owning a home is still one of the most powerful ways to build long-term wealth. But like anything in personal finance, the people who do well with it are the ones who understand the full picture, not just the exciting parts. If this video helped you see your own housing costs a little more clearly, do me a favor and hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to hear this. And if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe, because every week I break down the money topics that quietly affect your finances, but almost nobody explains clearly. I'll see you in the next one.